This is All India Radio, Whispers of the Wind. All India Radio, in collaboration with Vigyan-Prasar, presents science serial Whispers of the Wind, based on understanding and managing climate change and global warming. Let's listen to the episode number 37, titled The Rise of Sea Level and Inundation of Coastal Area.
A small island of Kerala state in Kollam district is slowly going underwater. The local residents are fleeing the place one by one. It is feared that they would be joining the swelling ranks of climate refugees.
Oh no, that is bad. I'm coming, please wait.
Good morning, madam.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Oh, you're listening to this news. What a coincidence.
Coincidence? What do you mean?
Actually, myself and Amal just returned from this small island.
I think the island referred in the news is Munro Island.
Oh, yes, you are absolutely correct, madam. The situation in that island is very bad, and especially after the recent flood.
There were some paper reports on this issue, but since I was abroad for last 3 months, I could not collect the details.
Madam, the 13.4 square kilometer Munro Island no longer hold any promise. And 20 years ago, the island seemed like an ideal. That is what the local people said.
Absolutely correct.
Arjun, why did you go there in the first place?
Sorry, madam. I should have told you earlier. Amal is doing his MSc in environmental science. We went to the Munro Island in connection with his project only.
Amal, what is your project?
Ma'am, actually I'm trying to do a small project on the impact of recent flood on the coastal ecosystems.
Madam, as you know, these very small islands were once known for their coconut palms. The land was filled with layers upon layers of silt. But today, this Munro Island has neither sand nor coconut trees.
Right. And a recent article in the newspaper highlighted the mystery behind this sinking island and the plight of its residents.
And not only this, water has become an unwelcome guest for their residents. It just enters their houses almost every day, which leaves the walls damp and turns their yards into a brown pool of filth.
Correct. They fear that their land is being reclaimed by water and the entire island will be wiped off from the map soon.
Actually, Munro Turutu, that is how the island is known, is a string of 8 islets at the confluence of the Ashtamudi Lake and the Kallada River.
Yes, madam. The article which Amal mentioned, the author says it cannot be easy waking up every day to the certainty that the place you call home is sinking.
Yes, this is what people of Maldives, Tuvalu and other low-lying island countries fear. But the problem is that the world community has not yet taken the plight of these people seriously.
Exactly, ma'am.
Correct.
This is what prompted us to come to you. The Department of Environmental Science of our college is organizing a discussion on the rise of sea level and inundation of coastal areas. We came to invite you as the resource person to lead the discussion.
That is very interesting. When is it?
Madam, it's on next Wednesday at 11 a.m. in the seminar hall.
Let me check whether I am free.
Ma'am, your presence is a must, please.
Correct.
Oh, I am free that day. I shall definitely come.
Great. Madam, we have invited some local residents from the islets and the low-lying coastal areas to join the discussion as well.
Great. That means it is not just a technical session. I shall prepare accordingly.
And ma'am, you don't worry, we shall make arrangements for your travel as well.
Yes, ma'am.
That will be fine. I have to go to my institute in the morning. You can pick me up from there.
Oh, great, ma'am. Arjun sir,
Yeah?
shall we move?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, sorry. I didn't even offer you a cup of tea. Please wait.
No, ma'am. It's all good. It's okay.
Yes.
Have some lime juice.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
That is for the road, right, sir?
Yeah. Thank you, ma'am.
Binduji, who are we waiting for, huh?
Yeah. Oh, they're coming. Yeah. Hello, Arjun sir.
Hello, how are you?
I'm fine, sir. Please come, sir.
Thank you.
Hey, Amal. Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine. How's your study going on?
Oh, it's going very well.
Joseph Chetan is a very senior farmer of this panchayat.
Oh, hello.
And the other two persons are ward members, Tankamma and Rajan.
Oh, hello.
Hello, everyone.
We are glad to meet you. We have come here to tell you about the proposed discussion on rising seas and sinking islands and coastal habitats.
Yes. And we want to make one point very clear. We are not going to discuss the problem of islands specifically. It is a general discussion actually. And we are planning a general discussion on global warming, a sea level rise.
Okay.
What we think is that we should have some basic knowledge of global warming, climate change, sea level rise. Then only we can tackle local problem.
That is okay. But we are also interested to know about it, huh? At the same time, we are trying to draw attention of academics, policy makers, politicians and so on to the environmental damage caused by global warming, climate change, tsunami, misplaced developmental projects, pollution and so on.
The degradation of such very small island has been discussed in many forums, including in our parliament. But no concrete action plan has been launched yet. Of course, the power that be is aware of our predicament.
Yes.
I met one environmentalist who has studied the problem of such small islands. He said that a serious problem on this island is the scarcity of drinking water. Is it?
Yes, sir. Water everywhere, but not a drop to drink. During high tide, the public water supply system stops functioning. So water has to be transported in canoes.
Oh, and I understand that before tsunami, there was a tidal flooding in the island only for 2 months in a year, right?
Yeah.
But now it happens 8 months in a year, is it so?
What did you say your name was, young man?
Amal, sir.
Yes, Amal. The experts say that this island could be seen as the first casualty of global warming in this state, creating a band of environmental refugees.
Sir, I'm going to do a project on sinking of small islands. Since you are a senior citizen of this island, you may be able to help me.
Joseph sir knows everything about this island. He can help you, sir.
Oh, great.
In not too distant past, this island used to be a hub of coconut farming. But over the years, saline intrusion has stripped the soil of its fertility.
Now coconut trees on the island are mostly barren stumps.
The coir industry too collapsed due to shortage of raw material.
Oh, so what are the farmers doing now?
The only one option remaining for them is aquaculture. The last few years have been the emergency of several fish farmers.
But the recent floods have wrecked the island's fragile ecological balance. Of course, we farmers had to bear the brunt.
But sir, according to the Deputy Director of Fisheries in the Kerala government, the floods had caused changes in the physico-chemical parameters of the water. Now water has become less suitable habitat for many species.
And another problem is the change in the salinity level, right? This led to the vanishing of plankton, which in turn will affect the fish population, if I am correct?
There are so many factors that affect the ecology of Ashtamudi Lake in general. Global warming and climate change is just one of them.
All scientific studies reveal that the small island of the lake are gradually sinking. Something has to be done on a war footing.
We want a concrete plan of action, short term as well as long term.
Sir,
Yes.
we shall help you to bring the problems of small islands to the attention of concerned authorities. Now I once again invite you to attend the discussion on global warming, climate change, sea level rise and inundation.
Yes, sir. We shall come to your college to attend this discussion.
Oh, thank you so much. It will be great. Madam, now we are going back. I shall be visiting this place often for my project work, sir.
Hope to see you in our college, sir.
Yes.
Thank you.
Respected dignitaries and friends, Namaste. A very warm welcome to all of you. We are starting the program. I kindly request our chief guest, Dr. Indira, to occupy her seat in the dais. Srimati Bindu, President, Onam Turut Gram Panchayat, and Joseph, our veteran farmer of the locality, are requested to be in the dais. Now, I invite Dr. Arjun to welcome the gathering. Please give him a big hand.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We have assembled here for an important discussion on sea level rise, global warming, climate change and related problems. Dr. Indra, an authority of marine science, is here to initiate the discussion. I am happy to welcome her. Srimati Bindu, President of our Gram Panchayat, has come here to participate in this program. Madam, we are happy to welcome you. Mr. Joseph is a father-like figure among the local farmers. We have to learn a lot from his practical experience. I am happy to welcome him. Last but not the least, may I offer my warm welcome to each of you to this program. Now I humbly request Dr. Indra to start the discussion. Ma'am, please.
Hello, everybody. Before I go into the details of global warming, climate change, sea level rise, and inundation, I invite few questions from the audience on the basis of their knowledge about the subject. Anyone can come forward.
Madam, I am a farm worker. My question is it true that sea level are rising?
Very good question to start with. Satellite data reveals that since 1993, sea level has been rising at the rate of 3 mm per year. This rate of rising is significantly higher than the average during the half of the previous century. Yes, studies show about a 7 centimeter accelerating rise in sea level from 1993 to 2017.
Ma'am, how are climate change and rise in sea level related?
I will explain. The sea level rise is linked to 3 factors. Amal,
Yes, ma'am.
can you tell me one factor?
Yes. Thermal expansion, I guess.
You are right, Amal.
Thank you.
When water becomes hot, it expands. You all know it.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
Almost half of the past century's rise in sea level is attributable to the warmer oceans occupying more space. Now, who can tell me the second factor?
Ma'am, melting of glaciers and polar ice caps, huh?
He's correct. I want Dr. Arjun to explain this factor. Arjun, can you explain this, please?
Yes, madam. Persistently, higher temperatures have caused higher than average melting of glaciers and ice caps in the polar region.
That's right. Moreover, snowfall has diminished due to delayed winter and early spring season. This has resulted in a significant imbalance, causing the level to rise. Now there is one more factor.
Ice loss from Greenland and West Antarctica, is it not, madam?
Yes, Arjun. Increased heat is also causing ice sheets covering Greenland and West Antarctica to melt. Also, higher sea temperatures are resulting in massive ice shelves that extend out from Antarctica to melt from below. This also adds to the rise in sea level.
Ma'am, I have a doubt.
Oh, you're welcome. Please raise your question.
Oh, yes. Madam, I want to ask, is it possible to project a future sea level?
Projecting future sea level has always been challenging due to our imperfect understanding of many aspects of climate system. As climate research leads to improved computer model, projections have consistently increased.
Excuse me, ma'am. Can you give an example?
Sure. In 2007, the high end suggested by Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Changes, that is IPCC projections, through 2099, it was less than 0.61 mm.
Oh, my God.
Yes. But in their 2014 report, the high end was considered to be 0.91 mm.
Oh my God.
Yes. A number of later studies have concluded that 2 to 2.7 meters rise in this century is physically plausible.
Ma'am, as far as common man is concerned, they don't know the importance of such predictions. In the first place, they don't reach them. Such scientific information remains within the scientific institution and they don't trickle down to us.
Sarpanch madam, we are not properly informed about the precautions which have to be taken in the event of calamity.
Yes, there is communication gap between scientists, policymakers, bureaucrats, and common people, I guess.
I accept your criticism. Yes, to a certain extent, still research scientists are considered as ivory tower dwellers. But we are trying our best to disseminate scientific information to stakeholders.
Ma'am, how much each of the three factors which you mentioned contribute to sea level rise?
Let me try to explain it to you. The contribution to sea level rise since 1993, based on 2018 figures, can be divided roughly like this. Ocean thermal expansion by 42%, melting of temperate glaciers by 21%, Greenland by 15%, and Antarctica by 18%.
18%? Ma'am, will the sea level rise be the same at every location of the earth?
Arjun, would you want to answer that question?
Sure, ma'am. Sea level rise will not be the same at every location on Earth, with some location even getting a drop in sea levels.
Why?
Local factors include tectonic effects. Subsidence on the land, tides, currents, and storms influence sea level rise.
And who are the major victims of sea level rise?
Sea level rises can considerably influence human population in coastal and island regions and natural environments like marine ecosystems.
Widespread coastal flooding would be expected if several degrees of warming is sustained for millennia.
Oh.
Yes. For example, sustained global warming of more than 20 degrees centigrades relative to the pre-industrial levels could lead to eventual sea level rise of about 1 to 4 meters.
But Dr. Indra, how society can respond to sea level rise like that?
Good question. In 3 ways: retreat, accommodate, and protect.
But ma'am, will they go hand in hand?
Sometimes, but other times choices have to be made between different strategies. Ecosystems that adapt to rising sea levels by moving inland might always be able to do so due to natural or man-made barriers.
But ma'am, how far the understanding of the past sea level rise is important for the analysis of current and future changes?
History is very important to study any current issue.
All right.
Same is the case here. In the recent geological past, changes in land, ice, and thermal expansions from increased temperatures are the dominant reasons of sea level rise.
I understand that. The last time the Earth was 20 degrees Celsius warmer than the pre-industrial temperature. Sea levels were at least 5 meters higher than present.
It's too much.
Yes. This was during the last interglacial, when the Earth warming was caused by the slow changes in the orbital forcing.
Ma'am, what is orbital forcing?
My friend, I will explain it to you. Orbital forcing is the effect on climate of slow changes in the tilt of the Earth's axis and shape of the orbit.
These orbital changes change the total amount of sunlight reaching the Earth by up to 25% at mid-latitudes.
Yes, the warming was sustained over a period of thousands of years, and the magnitude of the rise in sea level implied large contributions from the Antarctic and Greenland ice sheets.
I have to say something. You guys are making so much sense to these young people. Even though I am not able to follow your scientific discussions, one thing is clear to me. This Earth is just one entity.
Yes, sir.
Changes, even if they are small, happening far away, Antarctica and Greenland, may it be, they have their effects on our locality.
And thank you for the compliment, sir.
Joseph, you are absolutely correct. We have only one Earth to live. Since the last glacial, about 20,000 years ago, the sea level has risen by more than 125 meters.
125?
Yes, with rates varying from less than 0 mm per year to 40 mm per year as a result of melting ice sheets over Canada and Eurasia. Rapid disintegration of ice sheets has led to so-called meltwater pulses periods, during which sea level rose rapidly.
The rate of rise started to slow down 8.2 thousand years before present. The sea level was almost constant in the last 2500 years before the recent trend started approximately in 1850.
Yes, but sir, how do they measure sea level?
Binduji, since the 1992 launch of TOPEX Poseidon altimetric satellites have been recording the change in the sea level. Another important source of sea level observation comes from the global network of tide gauges.
You know, we are eager to know about the impacts of present and future climate change on coastal systems.
Yes, absolutely correct, Joseph, sir. This is the area I am also concerned about.
I'll tell you. Impacts include increased coastal erosion, higher storms, surge floodings, inhibitions of primary production processes, more extensive coastal inundation, changes in surface water quality and groundwater characteristics.
And ma'am, I would like to add, there would be increased loss of property and coastal habitats, increased flood risk and potential loss of non-monetary culture resources and values.
This is true but very sad. We can expect impacts on agriculture and aquaculture through decline in soil and water quality. Also, there will be loss of tourism, recreation and transportation functions.
Dr. Indra, from your talk, what we gather is that many of these impacts are detrimental, especially for the poor people who depend on agriculture and aquaculture system.
Binduji, well said. River deltas and small island states are particularly vulnerable to sea level rise.
Yes, Arjun, you are right. Globally, tens of millions of people will be displaced in the later decades of this century if the greenhouse gas are not reduced drastically. Many coastal areas have large population growth, which results in more people at risk from sea level rise.
From my experience, I can say that rising seas pose direct and indirect risks. Unprotected homes can be flooded. That is the direct risk. Indirect threats of higher storm surges, tsunamis, and king tides also exist.
Joseph, you are a people's representative.
Oh, yes.
I can very well understand your feelings. 10% of the world's population live in coastal areas, which is less than 10 meters above the sea level. Furthermore, 2/3 of the world's cities with over 5 million people are located in these low-lying coastal areas.
You see, that means future sea level rise could lead to potentially catastrophic difficulties for shore-based communities in the next centuries. Is it not?
Joseph sir, you are right. Atolls and low-lying coastal areas on islands are particularly vulnerable to sea level rise. Maldives, Tuvalu and other low-lying countries among the areas that are at the highest level of risk.
Yes, sir, absolutely correct. And Arjun, sir, I read that at the current rates, the sea level would be high enough to make Maldives uninhabitable by year 2100.
Also, geomorphological events such as storms tend to have higher impact on reef islands than sea level rise. For example, the Marshall Islands.
You know, I foresee one more danger. In the case all islands of an island nation become uninhabitable or completely submerged by the sea, the states themselves would also become dissolved. Once this happens, all rights on the surrounding area of the sea are removed. Any resources such as oil, minerals and metals within this area can be freely dug up by anyone and sold without needing to pay royalty to the island state.
Yes, Joseph. It is a very important point. Coastal ecosystems are facing drastic changes as a consequence of rising sea level.
And Dr. Indra, all these expected calamities are mainly due to global warming and climate change. Experts say we should reduce our carbon footprint, but the places are inhabited by the poorest of the poor people. Their carbon emissions are not even enough to sustain their lives. Still, they are the primary victims of global warming and climate change. This is criminal injustice.
Sir, I think they are punished, not for their fault, isn't it?
So, Amal, the polluters should take all the responsibility for rehabilitation.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and they should provide technology and capital for adaptation.
I'm very sorry. I completely understand a very serious discussion on a very critical subject is going on here. But it is time for us to wind up. But it is not the end. It's just a beginning. I will request Dr. Indra to have her concluding remarks. Dr. Indra, please.
Oh, yes. What will you say?
Thank you. I think we've had a useful discussion. In fact, I learned a lot from it. Now we know that climate-induced changes and other less understood anthropogenic changes will be superimposed on other impacts resulting from human activities such as overfishing, pollution, damming of rivers, and habitat loss in coastal areas, island nation, islets, etc. We have to find solutions for this problem. For that, more studies are required. As we said by some of our friends, the poor people should not be the victims for none of their faults. This is a typical case involving global thinking and local action.
And excuse me for interrupting you, madam.
Yes, Joseph?
I am just an ordinary farmer, but I have a lot of experience. When we think of any action plan to mitigate our sufferings, it should be discussed with people of the locality. They should be taken into confidence. Massive awareness campaigns should be planned before implementation of any project. What we want is people's active involvement in any development project. Am I right, people?
You are
Absolutely right, sir. Yeah.
Joseph, sir, I must say, these are the golden words, the power that should be heard.
Thank you.
Joseph, your suggestions are well taken. Now Amal is going to do a project on problems of your small island. He should discuss it with your people and you should cooperate with them. Right, Amal?
Right, ma'am.
Definitely, ma'am. We are ready to cooperate. And it is the question of our existence.
Thanks, Binduji. Now I invite Amal to give word of thanks. Amal, please.
Thank you so much, sir. I would like to express our sincere thanks to all of you who have assembled here to participate in this discussion. And thank you all for taking out time and being here to understand the importance of our climate and responsibilities.
Thank you.
Whispers of the Wind. You were listening to the 37th episode of this science serial produced by All India Radio in collaboration with Vigyan-Prasar, titled The Rise of Sea Level and Inundation of Coastal Area. This episode was written by Dr. K.K. Janardhan. Coordinators were Dr. Nakul Parashar and Dr. Birendra Kumar Tyagi. This episode was directed by Kajal Suri. Presented by Dilip Jha and assisted by Neha Tuck. Participants were Nikhil Diwan, Divya Parashar, Rakshit Thaplial and Daksha Sharma. Hey listeners, please stay with us. Here are 2 questions for you. The lucky winners will get attractive prizes from Vigyan-Prasar. The first question is, where is Munro Island? And the second question is, what are the causes of degradation of very small islands? You can send your answers by simple post. Our address is Science Serial Whispers of the Wind, Director Vigyan-Prasar, A50, Institutional Area, Sector 62, Noida, 201309. You can also write on our email ID radio@vigyanprasar.gov.in. Please do write or mail us your full name, age, address and profession. If associated with Science Club, do let us know the membership of your club. If you have any query or question, don't hesitate to write to us. We'll be back again with the next episode of this science serial, Whispers of the Wind. Same day, same time, next week. Till then, goodbye.